Now that week one is officially in the books, I'm sure you're wondering, who are the NFL head coaches that are already on the hot seat after their week one performances? Welcome in, NFL fans, to NFL Daily by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Moustakas, but please call me Moose. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about all of those coaches that are officially on the hot seat, at least according to me. A disclaimer, by the way, this is an overreaction. It's supposed to be an overreaction. Obviously, we have seen coaches throughout the NFL season get fired earlier rather than later. Not every team is like the Chicago Bears and waits until the very end of the season to fire their head coaches, Matt Eberflus being the only exception. You see quite frequently that owners, GMs, they have a very short leash for bad football. So they will get rid of their coaches by week 5 or week 6 if they feel so inclined. Now, speaking of week one, did you like what you saw, not only from us here at Chat Sports, but from the NFL as a whole? Are you happy that football is so bike? Hit that thumbs up icon if you agree with us, because I'm happy that we get NFL football. I don't know about you. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's go into our list. Who are our head coaches that are on the hot seat? Let's start with Brian Daboll, the head coach for the New York Giants. I feel like Daboll hasn't gotten a fair shot in New York. And I know a bunch of people are going to get down in the comment section and be like, what do you mean he didn't get a fair shot? He's been blah, 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 blah. Just listen. If you're rocking with Daniel Jones as your quarterback and now Russell Wilson, who is clearly past his prime, there's some what ifs that are going to go through everybody's mind. But I do understand where you're coming from, because the Giants under Daboll are 18-33 with one playoff win, and their last game against the Washington Commanders was brutal. A loss 21-6, no touchdown scored there. Or at least I don't think there was a touchdown scored there. I could be wrong. They didn't score? Thank you, producer Casey. So here's what I think about Daboll. He's got an ace up his sleeve that will keep him in New York for at least one more year. So he is officially on the hot seat. The timer is a ticking. But that ace up the sleeve is named Jackson Dart. But you better play him sooner rather than later. Otherwise, you could be looking at a call from Joe Schoen saying, look, we got to get rid of you. We love everything that you've done for the organization, or lack thereof. We've got to go find somebody else that's new. And I think Daboll actually has a pretty good offensive mind. Like I said, I don't feel like he was in the best situation with the players around him. The defense is fine in New York, but the offense has a lot of questions. So let me ask you this. Will Daboll get fired before next season? Yes or no? I'm going to say no. But I think if you see Jackson Dart, and then if you see Jackson Dart not play well, at least for a long period of time, and the Giants' record kind of reflects that, I bet you he's gone by the end of the season. Let's go on to our second head coach hot seat. Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And look, I got to call a spade a spade. He was boy wonder a couple of years ago. This complex offense, high power, dropped 70 points on the Denver Broncos a couple of years ago. But let's be real. Since then, it's been awful. Tua can't stay healthy. You got the Tyreek Hill drama over and over and over again. They're 8-10 in their last 18. They got blown out by the Colts week 1. And Tua seems to be regressing. All of this to say, the time is probably done for McDaniel in South Beach. I don't know how players stay focused when they go down and play for the Dolphins. There's so many distractions in Miami. Just ask Carson Beck. But Tyreek Hill seems to be the focal point of all of this drama. Are they going to trade him? Are they not? Are they going to extend him? Are they not? He's very outspoken. It's just nonstop story after story, drama after drama in South Beach. I just think they need a whole refresh, not only with the coach, but with the GM as well. That leads me to my second question of today's episode. Who will be the first head coach fired in 2025? If I had to put my claim on it, it would probably be McDaniel. But you can let me know in the comment section down below. Now, before I get into my other 3 coaches that are on the hot seat, my friends, check out the bling bling. That's right. I got married last weekend. And believe me when I tell you this, I've been considering getting my life insurance as my top priority for quite some time now. It's just too big of a risk to not have an investment in. And that's where our friends from Ethos come in. And listen, as someone who, like I said, is about to start having kids, it is at the top of my priority list. Ethos can get you covered and protected in minutes with rates at less than $23 a month. They are revolutionizing the insurance industry with a 100% online process and can provide protection for you and your loved ones in as little as 10 minutes. They have no medical exams. Just answer a few easy health questions online. Their 100% online and hassle-free process makes it easy to apply, and you can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. I'll have all of that in the comments and description of today's video. Our third head coach hot seat. This one comes more recently. I feel like I probably would have told you about a month ago that his leash was going to be longer, but Brian Callahan, look, he did something so boneheaded. I can't even believe it. Like, you cannot be the one to not know the NFL rules. And I know Titans fans are going to be like, he does know the rules. He just didn't articulate them well. I disagree. Here's what happened in the Denver Broncos game in week 1. There was a specific play where there was a catch, but it wasn't a catch. I don't know. There was an elbow, something along those lines. At the end of the game, he said, I was worried about a lot of things that went wrong in the game. And in the heat of the moment and in frustration after the game, it was the press conference. Again, I misspoke, he said. I'm well aware of the rule. I understand how it works, and the way I articulated it afterwards was incorrect. I understand the rules of this game pretty well. So he got super defensive. Essentially what happened was he didn't end up challenging a play that he was supposed to challenge because he didn't realize that the player's elbow, when it hits the ground, you're considered down. So clearly, if you would have understood the rule, you would have challenged the play. This was a major error. Know the rules, Callie. Come on. Like, you just got to be smarter than that. And I understand there's a lot going through your head as a head coach during the game. But you got to understand the situation. That is your job. That's why you get paid millions of dollars. And the Titans under Callahan are 3-15, no playoff wins. And their last loss to the Broncos, they didn't score an offensive touchdown. 4 field goals. Their offense looks to have regressed. And I understand Cam Ward is a rookie. However, their receiving core isn't good. Their run game wasn't good. Their offensive line can't hold up. Everything outside of Cam Ward looks like a disaster. So I think if you see another season like they had at 3-15, Callahan's going to be let go sooner. All right, let's go to number 4. I debated putting this guy on the list because I think he's a really, really good coach. Kevin Stefanski. And I don't think that he would be let go from Cleveland because of his poor coaching skills. Like I said, I think he is a really good coach. But you're noticing a pattern here. All of these lower tier organizations that just can't find anything they do right. They've got chaos in the upper building, or they're a rebuilding organization. They're all having coaches that are on the hot seat. But let's talk specifically more a little bit about Stefanski. It's been a circus at quarterback since Stefanski took over. You've had Deshaun Watson. You've had Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Baker Mayfield. It's just been an absolute roller coaster of QBs. Their offense consistently underwhelms, and he's an offensive guy. Despite that, though, he's pretty close to 500 as the Browns head coach. I actually think Stefanski is a good head coach. His talents are absolutely being wasted in Cleveland. I think what you're going to see is if the Cleveland Browns struggle this year, that entire front office is going to say, look, we just need a fresh start. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And I kind of wish that for Kevin Stefanski. I kind of hope he goes somewhere else because he's proven that when you give him good players and a consistency at quarterback, he can get you to the playoffs. All right. Before we get to our last one, a little TV timeout here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have 414,000 current subs, trying to get up to 415,000. before the end of week 2. So lock us in, hit that subscribe button. Last one on the list. Probably going to come as a shock to some of you. I got Tomlin. And Tomlin is easily the best coach on this list. He's a future Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. He's never had a losing season. However, I've been reading the comments of our Steelers channel. I've been monitoring social media. There are a majority, in fact, of Steelers fans that are tired of hearing about no losing seasons. They're not winning playoff games, period. If you can't start winning playoff games, eventually your standard becomes we make the playoffs, but we never go anywhere. And at what point does that become unacceptable? And Tomlin, like I said, his resume speaks for itself. He's 184-107 as a head coach for the Steelers. He got 8 playoff wins in 18 seasons, and he's a Super Bowl winner. The problem is that you're not doing anything outside of the first round. You have to win at least one playoff game in 2025. You have to. And if you don't, I think it's time to start considering other options. You got to go with someone else. Tomlin's the ultimate stabilizer of an organization. But can he elevate this Steelers team? If history is any recent indicator, the answer is no, because he hasn't. All right, before we get on out of here, join us for week 2 of our Whip Around coverage that starts on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Make sure you pull up and join Mr. Sam Brown, the producer and host of our Whip Around coverage on Sundays. He does an excellent job. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and as always, be cool.